So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are discussing practical ways to bulletproof your business against the tides of change, allow you to be separate from the business, and be accessible to all generations across multiple platforms, increase efficiencies and profits that allow you to experience freedom like you've never known. We're talking about moving from the cubicle to the cloud. And today we have with us Megan Weaver. She is the CEO and founder of Complete Compliance Consulting. Megan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's great to have you. And Megan is here today because she has read her chapter 1. She's completed the pen to paper and submitted it to me. And she's got a lot of really great ideas that I want to talk about today. So Megan, I want to dive right in. First of all, will you tell us just a little bit about what does your company do?
Sure. So we are a behavioral health care consulting firm. We work with facilities all over the country that are looking to open or maybe already have a business and are looking to improve different aspects of compliance, which can include everything from licensure and accreditation to just daily operations and human resource management. And we'll assist them with opening if they're brand new and they're in the startup phase, and if they're already up and running, helping them to really take a look at kind of where they want to improve and creating a custom plan for them.
Really neat. And it sounds like it's really a niche focus. So, when you're focusing in on just that one industry or that one kind of set, sometimes there's some really strong traditional expectations around how you're going to deliver your service or your product. And I know that in your pen to paper, you had mentioned, breaking away from that brick and mortar. Will you talk with us about your ideas around that and how you've started to do that and wish to continue?
Sure. So I have been working in and out of the behavioral healthcare industry for a long time, since 2005. And when I started, the idea of providing services electronically or remotely or via the cloud was not something you hear about at all. So obviously, as time has gone on, and now, in the situation we're in with everyone moving remotely, working remotely, and what that looks like, I started to look at, okay, what can realistically be done to provide these services and provide them in a way that it's effective, it's efficient, and people are feeling like they're getting their money's worth. So, I was working for a company full time and was just like any other employee. And I started to consult on the side and just was approached by someone who said, "Hey, would you be interested in assisting me with accreditation for this facility?" And I asked my company, "Hey, do you guys have a problem with this?" They said, "No, absolutely. We support you 100%. And that was how my business started. It was really that simple. And so what ended up happening is I got one referral after the next. And so obviously when I wasn't at my regular job, I was trying to figure out systems. How do I organize and keep all this, to where these people really feel like it's like having me there, right? Even though I'm not physically in their office, running their compliance, running their HR, running their billing, whatever it looks like, that they feel like they're really getting their money's worth. And so I had to really look at what platforms existed and what was available in order for me to provide that kind of service, because I wasn't in the office 9 to 5 every day.
Right. Absolutely. And then like them still feeling that connectivity because they're hiring you, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're trying to put these processes in place so that you can deliver to them what you're able to do, your expertise, but then even more, right? I know that also in your pen to paper, you really talked about expanding beyond just those core services, and that your clients are actually asking you to do that, which, hey, opportunity knocks, you answer, right?
Right.
So what is that looking like right now? And what are your thoughts for how to accomplish that?
Sure. So in the beginning, when I started this, it really was just about, okay, I'm going to help this new facility get a license, or they want to get accredited so that they can bill insurance, or whatever the case may be, right? And I started off just in compliance because that was essentially what I was doing for my full-time job. And so it made sense to provide that to people on a consulting basis. And then what ended up happening is these companies are coming to me and saying, hey, would you mind looking at our business plan for this new facility? Or would you take a look at our pro forma statement? We'd really love to get your input on our financials. Are the numbers realistic? Are our expectations for, the first year, 3-year, 5-year returns realistic? Because they knew that I had experience working in plenty of startups and existing facilities. And so next thing I know, I'm writing business plans and putting together pro forma statements for these people to not only help them with their financial projections, but actually they're using these to get loans from large banks or from private equity investment firms. And this obviously was the beginning stages of looking into, okay, what other revenue streams are available to me? And that's what spawned me providing human resource management remotely and setting them up on platforms where I could essentially organize and see all of my clients in one place and see exactly where they were at with whether it was onboarding, background checks, pretty much performance improvement plans, that they're doing on an annual basis. And, at the end of the day, I realized that there's so much more to be had here. Like I have the opportunity to have multiple revenue streams and I don't have to be the one doing all the work. Right. And, something funny that happened a couple months ago was an insurance company called me and said, hey, we have all these clients that want to go and network and we don't really want to do it. Would you be interested? And so I went and found people that do this kind of work all day, every day. Not that I couldn't learn to do it on my own, but the learning curve would take me probably a month and there would be business lost in that waiting period. And so I brought on a consultant who knew exactly how to do it. And essentially that's a whole new revenue stream for me. So now not only can I offer that service to my clients, but any client that comes to me through this billing company, which is multiple emails and clients per week, this is now an entirely new revenue stream. And I'm not doing any of the work, which is, like living the dream.
Yes, absolutely. And really they talk about like the difference between you being the business and actually running a business. And you're very quickly going from getting those direct referrals and you handling the work to systemizing that work so that other people can perform it. And then now creating, of course, that additional revenue stream and being able to grab those opportunities because you aren't doing all of the work. So then this really speaks to that next point that you had made in your pen to paper about how with the virtualization and with leveraging these tools that you're starting to leverage in your business, that you can expand to more clients than you alone would be able to serve. So you don't have to limit yourself as to the number of clients you can serve. You can really kind of grow, scale, right? Profitably. Along with their needs. So talk to me about that plan. What does that look like? How are you hoping to accomplish that?
Right. So in the beginning, I, had to ask myself the question, well, how many clients can I realistically take on? And this, of course, was when I was working full-time for somebody else. So I thought, okay, how many clients could I take on at any given time and work evenings and weekends and still manage to stay on top of my job. And so when I finally left at the end of last year and started doing it on my own, the truth is I someone asked me, when will you know when when you have too many clients or too much on your plate? And I said, I'll let you know when I get there. And that was sort of my approach. I'll just wait till, I'm working 12 hours a day and my life is completely unmanageable and I'll address it then. And so what ended up happening is I started to realize that I couldn't build and grow the business. It wouldn't be scalable or sustainable if I continued to carry it all on, right? And I think with any new business owner, the thought is take on as much as I can for as long as I can to make sure that I have some income and some stability, right? And especially in the beginning, wanting to make sure you have enough and you're going to be able to pay yourself and pay your bills. And as I believe you called it solopreneur, right? And so the thought of bringing on new people was a little scary at first. And I thought, well, what if business goes down? And the reality is my experience has been, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so I just brought on one consultant at a time. And now I'm bringing on my first employees, and being able to have people that are providing such a wide range of services, that some of which I have the skills to do. But the reality is, if they're able to take the administrative stuff off my plate, the things that are not difficult, but time consuming, and that's the one commodity that I feel like as a business owner, you need as much of that as you can. If you want to continue to expand the client base and grow the business that you have while also maintaining the clients that you have, you need to be able to have enough support behind you to make sure that they each feel taken care of, that they have the support they need, and that if they need something right now, there's someone to respond to that phone call or that email or whatever that looks like.
So in this business that's traditionally very much, consulting is like, I want Megan to come to my facility and fix all of my problems. How have you kind of worked your way around that and been able to provide your services without necessarily going in? And I imagine the latest, trends with COVID and everything have helped clients to adopt the right attitudes around this. I know for other entrepreneurs it has, but how have you gotten past that, them wanting you there on site?
Well, in a weird way, I suppose COVID has helped them not wanting me there. What I've done is I've created a systematic approach to being able to provide them with pretty much anything they could possibly need remotely. And like you said, it is a bit of a niche market, so I won't go too much into the specifics of, what I do for each client, but I'm able, if they say, hey, I need someone to take a look at XYZ, I have remote access to literally all of their systems. It doesn't matter if it's their electronic health records, their human resource management platform. I'm working with them to get them all on electronic platforms, as opposed to 10 years ago, these companies had every client record on paper in a binder. And I've worked for facilities a long time ago where I was the one organizing it with color-coded tabs, and it was completely unmanageable. And so now I'm able to log in remotely and essentially audit, assess, aggregate data, provide them reports. And if they want me on site, let's say a state auditor's coming out, or they're having their first on-site accreditation specialist come out, I'm able to show up for 1 to 2 days, one time. And again, it's all based on what they want. I might pop in once a quarter if they really want to see my face, but I'm able to provide, I would say 99% of what they need completely remotely, because of that push to put all of their systems essentially away from that old school paper model and investing the money in these systems. Because obviously they're not cheap, and we realize that not everyone can afford them, but even the most, even a facility with the most tight budget can afford some sort of platform. I work with different vendors all over the country that offer different price points, from the most basic to the most elaborate and extravagant. So no matter what their price point is, we can at least get them on the cloud. And that allows me to provide them a much wider range of services and never leave my house.
I love what you said about, you have become familiar with those different platforms and the tools, the tech tools that they're going to need to have in their tech stack in order to be able to work with you and be more efficient. And I mean, I really imagine that if they did the math on it, they would find that it's actually less efficient to have those paper folders and then have to pay consultants for on-site visits and have to pay staff members to maintain all of that paper, like you talked about. So this is definitely the direction they need to go. And I love that you have, as part of your expertise, you've recognized that you need to know what solutions are out there so that you can make those recommendations for them. I think that a lot of us, we're professionals and we know, our area of expertise, and we can deep dive there, but we don't necessarily know about the technology, and we need to know in order to get our job done in this day and age.
No, we absolutely do. And I think every type of business is going to look differently. Like the types of software and platforms that you use are going to look differently. And I've been able to identify a few products or vendors that really just do an incredible job, and they provided an amazing value. And I believe that my clients see that. And so by doing that, if someone asks, and comes to me and says, oh, well, your fee maybe seems a little steep, or they're having a hard time wrapping their mind around that value, because I'm not physically there every day, and they're so used to having employees on site 9 to 5, and it makes them feel like they're getting their money's worth. And the truth is, I could tell them, look, my firm is going to be able to provide you the services that you would need 3 employees to do, because you would need someone for HR, someone different for compliance, someone different for insurance billing. And we have people that specialize in all those areas and are going to be able to provide you with these services remotely for literally less than the cost of one full-time employee. And you essentially have access to our entire team for that price. Not only that, like you said, you might have a one-time implementation fee for whatever platform you're integrating them to, but compare that over time. Maybe I would say probably return on investment after a year at the most, when you consider how many trees you're killing, how much paper you're printing, and then factor in the hourly rate or the salary that you're paying to the person to organize all of this, to print it, to organize it, and essentially to stay on top of it, which in this business is constant. You're having to do this. You would need someone full-time dedicated just to printing and organizing paper, which is incredibly inefficient.
Wow, I love it. So then you're actually, by bringing you onto the team, now they are being brought to that next level. And that is so critical. I love that we're always, being nimble and improving and innovating. And I think that it is those businesses that will survive. Megan, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you sharing your findings and your pen to paper.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. And for those of you who are watching, if you want to go get chapter 1 and that first pen to paper, go to jenniferbrazer.com, put your information in. We will send you the introduction in chapter 1. You can get that pen to paper done and submit it back to me for a chance to do a session just like Megan had today, and also to keep you posted on when the book is going to be published and the workshops that we're putting together for 2021. Enjoy your journey to the cloud. Megan, we're so excited to see what you do as you continue your journey. Please keep us posted.
I will. Thank you so much. Can't wait to read the book.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.